Hi guys, so this is the kind of response or answer video to accompany the writing about an extract number 1. You remember the question was explain how Lady Macbeth is presented as an evil character, and there is the question at the top of this page. And in the question video, I suggested that you should split the extract into 2 pieces. So we have the first speech and the second speech. So we were able to kind of deal with the whole extract by chunking it up a little bit. And in terms of the structure to your answer, I suggested there should be 2 paragraphs, and this is the outline of those 2 paragraphs. It's the same kind of structure, but with a subtle difference. The first paragraph is focused on the rejection of her role as a mother, and the second paragraph shows focused on the manipulation of her husband. Okay, so here is my answer to the question that you had a go at as well. So this is what I've put. Shakespeare presents Lady Macbeth as an evil character in this extract by showing her rejection of the mother role. She explains to her husband how she would treat her baby. I would have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out. This horrific line makes her seem evil, as she is imagining killing her own child. The verb dashed is effective in emphasizing the evil part of her character, as it connotes violence and speed and aggression against a poor, innocent baby. Another way that Shakespeare makes Lady Macbeth seem evil is her manipulation of her husband. She says to him, "What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan?" This shows that she is trying to convince her husband to murder Duncan by making the plan seem very easy and straightforward. There is nothing that can stop them from doing this crime. The use of the adjective unguarded emphasizes the vulnerable state Duncan will be in, and how easily Macbeth can perform the murder. To promote attacking a man who can't defend himself makes her seem evil. So here is a highlighted version of the first paragraph. And what I've done for you is I have put the 5 parts of the structure that should have been in your answer on this side of the page over here on the left hand side. And on the right hand side is my paragraph, which has been color coded to show exactly how those 5 stages have appeared in my answer. So you can see the yellow bit is right at the beginning, the blue bit, which is the detail or the quotation, follows on. There's the green explanation, the small but absolutely vital single word and terminology in purple, followed by the high level kind of analysis of that particular single word. And that is the same on the next paragraph as well. Okay, so both of my paragraphs have used the 5 steps to the structure, and you can see by having them color coded, it's really obvious where each phase of that structure occurs. So one of the things you can do with your answer is if you color code it in line with the 5 stages of the structure, you can see which bits you've got. Have you got them in the right order, and have you missed any bits out? And it's really important for you to be able to kind of self-evaluate and be self-aware of what's in your answer, so that when it comes to the exam, you know if you're giving a good answer, or if you need to improve your answer right there and then. The final part of this video brings in the mark scheme. Now, the mark scheme that is used for this paper, we have them in school, on these little slips like this. And they go up to band 5, but because of the nature of the piece of work we've done, it's only 2 paragraphs. Band 5 isn't really an option for us, because band 5 needs to be kind of a cohesive, long piece of analysis, where 2 paragraphs are never going to achieve that. So there's no point putting the 5th band on here. But we can look at band 3, and we can look at band 4, and kind of see what's in the answer that I've given that kind of puts it somewhere in this area. So first of all, does my answer show an understanding of a range of language, form, and structural features and links them to the effect on the reader. Well, yes, it does. It shows understanding of language. It mentions verb and adjective. What it doesn't have, so I'm going to underline this in blue, it doesn't have form and structure features. Okay? So it's missing those things. My answer does have an explanation of the effect on the reader or the audience, and my answer does have relevant subject terminology to support the examples that I've given. So in terms of Band 3, I've achieved everything in Band 3 apart from demonstrating form and structure features. I've only gone for language, so that's my only little kind of gap in Band 3. If we look into Band 4, again, we've got language, form, and structure, and obviously my answer does include language, but it doesn't include form and structure features. So we're in the same kind of situation here. I suppose the question is, am I analysing or just showing understanding? And my answer does analyse, so I do achieve that keyword there, which is part of the Band 4 criteria. My answer is also focused and detailed. Both my paragraphs explain the effect on the reader, so that makes it sustained. I'm doing it more than once. I'm not just doing the effect on the reader once and then letting it slip. I've done it twice, so that could be argued that I've demonstrated sustained effect on the reader. And my relevant subject terminology is there, it's used accurately, and it's appropriate, and it's part of the development of my ideas. I don't just mention the term and leave it. The terms are used, and then my explanation builds from them, rather than just ending with, and this was a verb. I explain the effect of that verb. So I'm quite happy to put my answer in Band 4. Okay, so I would place my answer in Band 4. Because it hasn't covered form and structure, it's only done language. That means I can't really get the 16 marks. I can't get that high, but I'm definitely at 13. So I would probably score this a nice 14 out of 20. And if I was to continue my answer with a third paragraph and a fourth paragraph, then I would be able to access Band 5 without doing anything extra other than just maintaining this standard for a bit longer, and that would help me have that kind of more evidence of picking up the higher band marks. I would have to be careful I did include form and structure though. I would make sure that would be in my third and fourth paragraph. Okay, so with all that in mind, you can have a look at your piece of work now. You can give yourself a rough estimate, like I have, of the band and the score, and hopefully you're going to be like me and sitting there somewhere in Band 4. But if you're in Band 3, it's absolutely fine, because hopefully you'll have seen exactly what it was that you needed to include to get to that next level, and you'll do that next time. Okay. If you feel that you've not hit Band 3, then the chances are that when you went through your answer and color coded it, you must have missed out some of the stages. So if you haven't hit Band 3 criteria, the reason for that, in my kind of informed, kind of position of being your teacher, I'm going to guess that you haven't included all the 5 stages in the structure to the paragraph that I was suggesting. But this is only the first time of writing about an extract, and the next time we'll do it, you'll be a little bit more ready for it, and you'll be hopefully in a position where you can demonstrate exactly what you can do in terms of the 5 parts of the structure and hitting some of the Band 4 criteria. Right, take care, 10. Make sure that when you look at your work, you go through it very carefully and closely, and be honest with yourself, because ultimately you don't want to give yourself a false sense of achievement when it might not actually be deserved. Okay, you'll get it next time, all the time after that. It will happen eventually, but don't kill yourself by saying you got it first time if you haven't. Right, take care, folks, and I'll see you in the morning with your next piece of work. Bye for now.